Hey y'all, what is happening? Welcome to another episode of Megaman's Legends. I feel really good about this episode here. Really, really good actually. So, little lore. I would say like me and him, he was probably the one person I traveled with a lot in terms of going to these surprise tournaments that I have never seen or heard of. But really cool, really cool dude. And he's literally, I think, to me, he's like one of the legends in one of the legends in money matching in New York. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce you to the homie NY Teiga. What is happening, my brother?
What's up, Cam?
Not much,
Oh
man.
boy.
Not much, man. I appreciate you being on this episode, man. Like, it's a real honor that you joined. Like, I really was interested to know, like, I gotta know, like, how you really get into all these things, man. Like, how do you know about what tournament to go to and everything like that? And I mean, like, I've been on the adventures with you before, so I'm pretty sure, like, the people totally wants to hear in terms of, you know, what we have been through and everything. So I appreciate you being here, man. Thank you.
Anytime, brother. In regards to like how I used to find these tournaments, this was back during like SF4 days, so forums were still like fairly popular.
Mm-hmm.
So I would just spend nights on SRK event hubs just looking for random tournaments to go to because I just wanted to play at that point. Yeah, I was kind of obsessed with the idea of grinding, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
It was a little bit unhealthy now that I look back at it. But yeah, so I would just see like, oh, this is in New York, this is in Philadelphia, this is in New Jersey. Oh, this is in Syracuse, Buffalo. I didn't really care at that point. I think I went to New Windsor at one point. I was just like, yeah, I want to go, so I'm gonna go.
That's pretty sick, man. Like, I didn't know like researching during the SRK days is pretty. I mean, it's pretty prominent. I mean, you had like a lot of posts, but I would say like that had to have been a lot to comb over in terms of like finding which one that you wanted to go to, though.
Yeah, it was just like I would kind of just like rationalize it in my head, like, all right, do the ends justify the means? Does it make sense to travel here? How much is it going to cost me to travel here? Luckily, inflation wasn't that bad, so like even traveling to Philadelphia was only like $20 back then, and this is because, you know, New York City has Chinese buses. So yeah, it was like $20 round trip to go to Philadelphia, and I was just like, all right, cool. Going to like New Jersey or specifically like Newark, I think was like less than $7 round trip. So it was just being mindful of like how much I was paying to get there.
Right. I got you, man. You brought up the Chinese bus. We'll never forget that one. That's such good times, man. So tell me something. Like, how did it begin with you? Like, what got you into gaming?
All right, so what got me into gaming was playing Street Fighter 2 Vanilla on the Super Nintendo. Mm-hmm. So that was like the first game I've ever like played with my brother. After that, I somehow ended up transitioning into Killer Instinct,
right?
Which is why I kind of like have an obsession with their OST. Because that was the game like my brothers and cousins used to play, so it was always Killer Instinct. I'm like, all right, cool, I'm gonna learn Killer Instinct. After that, it kind of just stuck with me. I was playing like 30th anniversary collection on PS2, Def Jam Fight for New York, Street Fighter 4 came out. I was like, oh, in honor, let me not say in honor, but like in memory of the fact that this is what I grew up on, I'm gonna play it.
Right.
So from there, I was like, all right, keep playing SF4. And then one day my college had a tournament, and I was like, all right. I found like other people, apparently like it was mad funny because everyone in my major also was into playing fighting games. They had their own fight sticks. They had like the, Quamba Q4 or the Quamba Ebony stick or the Quamba Ivory stick. So it's like, all right, cool. I found like my community, I guess. So while we was like programming, if we were done programming, we would start playing Marvel 3, we'd start playing Cross Tekken, we'd start playing Street Fighter 4. We didn't really care. Oh. And so, yeah, it kind of just became a part of my life.
Well, that's pretty sick, though. I mean, I know you had the programming background, and I remember the days that you definitely like put in the hours into programming and everything. And then you got into the IT field. But tell me, what was like, I mean, aside from the first game, which I think you answered like 2 questions in one right there. So what was your first experience when you kind of got into the New York FGC in a way?
So I say this with all the love in my heart. Mm-hmm. Fuck Coach Steve. Fuck Lionheart. So what ended up happening was in college, my school had like a college tournament, and I'm just like, all right, cool, I'm gonna play. Actually, well, let me not say that. So there were 2 college tournaments, right? The first one was Cross Tekken. No, the first one was Marvel 3 and Street Fighter 4. The second one was Cross Tekken and Marvel 3. So the first year, Coach Steve and Lionheart came to my school all the way from the Bronx. I went to Brooklyn College. I'm saying this so if anyone is curious, they can Google, like go on Google Maps to see how far it is to get from Brooklyn College to the Bronx. It's like an hour and a half commute minimum on public transportation. So they came to my school, won both tournaments, dipped, never saw them again. I was vindictive. Like I made it like after that I was like, yeah, I never want to lose to y'all again. I never want to like have my school like gate kept, whatever. So I started grinding more and more until the next year, where 2 members of KPB invaded my school again from the Bronx. I don't know what these niggas from the Bronx coming from, but I was like, yeah, I can't allow y'all to like invade the school and win. I didn't really care for Street Fighter at the time. I was mostly playing Marvel because that was what most of my college mates played. Mm-hmm. So I was just like, all right, cool. I'm gonna focus on Marvel, and luckily, I was able to gatekeep them. I'm not gatekeep them. I was able to like beat them and not let them win. So, and yeah, after that, I was just like, all right, cool. But it wasn't like I didn't. Even though I won the tournament, I was not satisfied. I was just like, it's not the two who came here last time. Right. So I'm not gonna stop until I beat the both of them. So continued grinding, continued playing with this like single-handed obsession of wanting to beat them.
Oh, I see. So basically, it's just the will to beat these 2 asses. That's basically what it is. I mean, that's pretty unique. I don't blame you, man. I mean, if you have the rage to do it, and then you're grinding to just make sure that you make a statement, that's pretty badass. I'm not gonna lie, though. So what you're saying is, along the line with that was so that's also the first tournament you ever done as well, right?
So actually the first tournament I done was in 2012 when I graduated from high school. Like the very first day the very same day I graduated high school, I went to next level. I didn't know how tournaments worked back then, so I wasn't familiar with the entire double elim, single elim format. Right. So I lost to Spabrog in the first round, and I went home. And then come to find out, like, hilariously, after looking at the bracket, I was supposed to play Glitch and Losers.
Oh.
So, yeah.
Nice. Oh, man. Damn. Well, at least you figured that out, and, shout out to Glitch at the same time. Okay, so let's continue with the tournaments, right? Now, besides going to the next level, I know we kind of touched upon going to all these tournaments that it ranged between Philly, Connecticut, New Jersey. Which were the ones that you really liked going to during those times? Like during the Street Fighter 4 days, pretty much? Like, which were the ones that you really like going to, besides the majors, I should say?
Street Fighter. So when Street Fighter 4 was out, I was still in college, so I didn't really go to much locals. Mm-hmm. I didn't start traveling. Actually, so for me, Street Fighter 4 locals were like a limited thing because I was still in school. Like Henry technically soft banned me from his store with the idea being that like I should focus on my education before like trying to compete fully. So
wow.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, don't come, like, get your education first. The video games will always be here. Come back at another time. I'm like, all right, I can't be mad at that. He was speaking, he was telling the truth. So, most of my Street Fighter 4 locals were never in New York City. I remember traveling to New Windsor a lot for locals. I remember traveling to Glitches a lot in Springfield Gardens to play. And mind you, I didn't have a car, so I was doing this all via public transportation. I'm surprised my parents never found out about the fuckery that I was doing. So after I got my degree in 2017, that's when I started coming out to locals. And that's when I was like frequenting like Next Level Battle Circuit or like whatever local I felt like going to at the time. But if I had to choose like a local during the if I had to choose a local based off of like era, Street Fighter 4, it was definitely like Hostile Takeover in New Windsor, I believe it was. And then Street Fighter 5, it was Battle Circuit.
Oh yeah, that was good times. East Windsor. I mean, not East Windsor. Battle Circuit, I used to watch it a lot before. So it was pretty interesting seeing you go there and you're like doing very well in those tournaments as well. I mean, I remember when we used to play at the 8-Bit and Up store a lot, and this was before like the Ultra days, and then Street Fighter 5, where we had the beta, where you know I was kind of reminiscing with some folks before, like when I had the beta, like. You know, the guy, you and the guys, you come into my crib, and we would just be practicing. Like, we were just practicing. Now, in fact, folks, like, people should understand that, you did the first stun gun combo that before anybody else did, which is pretty incredible, though. And I'm pretty sure that video is still out there.
Yeah, it's on my Facebook.
Oh, it is on. Oh, yeah, it's still on his Facebook. So you did the first stun gun combo since then, and we were like really entrenched in terms of like really practicing this game. Like it was pretty fun during that time. But then, like when 5 came out, I recall you were going to these tournaments. Like I remember the one that we went to in Dobbs Ferry at once upon a time, like at this college, which was, I mean, that's when I had that job, and well, before we had the job, we took the train there, and we took the train there, and what a journey that was. So we took the train there, and I remember the next time we took it, that's when I was driving, and it was like, oh man, I felt like we went there, we had a lot of fun. I recall that tournament, I was actually salty because you entered 5 and you also played EX2 Plus, and I remember you beating me, and I was really pissed off at the same time because I was like, I don't even remember what I lost to, but I'm like, Dad, I just lost to pure fundamentals. So I was just kind of over. I was like over it, and I felt like I was like, man, I can't be mad at you, man. You beat me the way how you're supposed to beat me. So the trips with you was fun and interesting at the same time. That's how I will say it.
Yeah, like when we traveled to TFC.
Oh my God, yeah, that was another one. Taking the Chinese bus there, that was incredible. But I was happy that you did went though. We did went because I believe you entered 5. You entered KOF. What other game you entered during that tournament?
I just remember 5 and KOF and winning them both.
Oh, you ended up winning them both. Yeah, that's right. And the cool part was when you had a break, you came and checked in on me. And the funny thing was, folks don't know, that same TFC was the one tournament that was the qualifier for Tournaments of Legend 3. And you came in and checked on me a few times, making sure I was good and everything like that, which really appreciated though. And that was a fun tournament, and we had a pretty good room too. This was pretty dope though. But yeah, now tell me some more. Like in terms of majors, like the majors you went to, which one is your favorite major that you would like to tell people? Which one was your favorite one though?
Well, my favorite major overall would probably be Combo Breaker. Combo Breaker or CEO. Easily my favorite one. As like, and this is like as a player and as like just trying to go casually and just having fun. Mm-hmm. Yeah, those are definitely my top 2. If I'm just like taking like outside experience at all,
right?
I'd probably say I think exploring TFC was mad fun for me, honestly. That wouldn't happen.
Oh, really? So is it because like, where the heck was it the last time? I think it was in
food. The food was immaculate.
Yeah, I forgot what it was at. But
that was in North Carolina.
Yeah, there it was. It was like not near. It was near Raleigh, but not there. But it's I remember. So yeah. So okay. We talked about tournaments, and you went there. And what were your? I want to say like I'm pretty sure you had like during your stint, all your tournament stint, you had a lot of top. You know, you won a few. I can't say a few. I would say quite a bit. You won a bit. Got top 3. Got top 5. Got top 8. Overall, how would you rate your success in terms of your tournament runs? I would say.
I would say like, well, so I would probably break it down based off of the games that I'm playing.
Yeah, do tell.
So, Street Fighter, I'd probably say I'm like B or A rank, and then Grand Blue, I would definitely say I'm like A or S rank. So for Street Fighter, I think it was more enjoyable because of the large group of competitors. Just all the people that I'm competing against fighting against. So that made it like fun for me. But in terms of Grand Blue, I think I enjoyed Grand Blue as a game fundamentally more. So like I probably play a lot more Street Fighter 6 now than I do Grand Blue. But that's because I'm trying to still work on my understanding of Street Fighter 6.
Right.
And also the fact that I don't think Grand Blue has a essentially like a goal to strive for, where like Street Fighter 6 that has like master rank or legend rank, all that fun stuff. Grand Blue doesn't have that, so it's hard to like continue grinding that game. But I feel like playing Street Fighter 6 keeps the competitor in me happy, but like if I'm playing tournaments or going to a tournament, I would definitely look to play Grand Blue first.
Right. I see. So, I know Grand Blue, you're definitely pretty sick at that game for sure. Like, I would probably say, like, you're definitely, like, within top 3 the best Grand Blue player in the U.S. for sure. Do you have any aspirations to say you'd go to a major, say like for Evo, to compete with the internationals as well? And would you ever have that ever crossed your mind?
So that it's something that constantly crosses my mind, but I am at the same time a little bit. So part of me is like I want to go, but at the same time I understand that I'm an adult, so it doesn't feel fair to me. I mean, it doesn't feel fair to others to like request these things and like make contributions to support what I want to do when they have their own like responsibilities to adhere to. Right. So when it comes to going to Evo and like other majors, I always try to do it myself.
Right.
And if I can't do it myself, I just take it as like, I just gotta like budget better or like just essentially finance better in order to make my dreams happen.
Right. I mean, it is pretty expensive nowadays to really travel. I mean, going to Evo, you're definitely spending at least a good $500 at best, probably even more. Because you gotta not only worry about the flight, but you gotta do the room, and then not only the room you gotta do the entry fee, and then the entry fee kind of varies depending on how much games that you get into. So it's kind of up there, but I can understand like it's totally worth going because it's one of our biggest major in the U.S. for sure. Always has been. I mean, besides Evo, there's also Combo Breaker, CEO. I mean, before it had like NCR, SCR, Defender North at the time, and a couple of others as well. But so in terms of like, so let me ask you something. Within the whole tournament stint and everything like that, I'm pretty sure you like ran across like you had like a lot of challenges as well too. Like I would say like there's a lot of people that kind of step to you in terms of like asserting dominance, in terms of like having your money matches. And so can you is there like a number, how much people I would say you have money matched over your fighting career so far, if you can round it up, I should say?
Probably somewhere between like 30 to 40 people.
30 to 40 people, yes. I remember. So yeah. I remember there's a famous one that that I was I'm very fond of, that I got to witness. You played this dude twice, this DJ player twice, and the stipulation was the fact that you had to play on the PS3 version of Ultra, which was Ultra Street Fighter 4, which is I think is kind of hilarious to me. I don't know why, but tell me what was that about? That's what I want to know.
Okay, so the guy's name is Arturo. He went by Predator back then. I haven't heard from him. I haven't heard how to tell from him in a while. But essentially, we played on Street Fighter 4 online, and his connection was like really, really bad. But obviously, it's going to be even worse because we're playing on PS3. So we play a set. He wins like 5-4. Starts talking that shit.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you literally only won because lag. Like, run it offline. He's like, sure, I win it offline, but only on one condition. He's like, what's the condition? I was like, what's the condition? And he mentioned that we would have to play on PS3. I'm like, I'm fine with that. Like, I come from PS3, so it doesn't really matter to play on PS3 to me. So he ends up coming to the next. So we agreed to do it at next level battle circuit. First to 5 for $30. I think this is like the first time that my parents knew I was going out. So I was like, all right, cool. So I played him. I beat him 5-0. He went double or nothing. 5-0 again. So I'm up $60. And then this is like I guess the magic of New York City, because everyone smelled fresh blood. And Glitch came in, and Glitch was like, "Yo, let me hold 20. I want to money match him." I'm like, "Sure." Gave him 20. Glitch beat him for 40. Glitch ended up beating him twice for 40.
Yep.
Then, so, like, again, I was still in school at the time, so I had to leave early. I just came for the money match and then dipped. I didn't play in the tournament. I came to stall at Henry. Yeah. I'm not playing in the tournament. I'm just here to do my money match and then dip. So then, as I was leaving, I saw Lionheart. Told Lionheart what happened. Lionheart looked at me with the straightest of face and says, "I'll be right back. I'm going to an ATM." Withdrew money to go money match him. So as far as I know, the estimated amount of money that he supposedly lost that night is somewhere between $250 to $300.
Sheesh.
He money matched me twice. He money matched Glitched. He money matched me twice. He money matched Glitch twice. He money matched Badrock, Lionheart. I believe he did Smug, Thought Whisperer, and I believe he might have money matched one more person.
It was supposed. So it's funny. It was supposed to be Manny, but Manny told him that he was not ready, which was kind of funny. Which was pretty funny. He really came up to Manny. He was like, "Oh, you want a money match?" And Manny was like, "Nah, man, you're not. You're not even ready." And I remember he asked me, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm not gonna do it, to be honest with you, because I still wasn't at the level that you guys were in." And I was like to myself, I didn't want to break that streak that y'all was having on this dude. So therefore, I was just like, yeah, let me kind of sit back and just watch the destruction, how it went. But damn, losing 300 that night on a span of 4 players, that's kind of crazy, to be honest with you. But I would say, like, man, I would say there was a lot of people that would call you, like, legitimately the king of money matches in New York. Because I would say, like, your win ratio for your money matches in New York has been pretty superb. So I have yet to hear that you lost one, to be honest with you. I don't think you lost any. Nah, yeah, I don't think he has lost one. So that's pretty dope, though. That is pretty dope. So I haven't money matched anyone in New York that I'm fond with. Maybe not that I can recall. Mm-hmm. But I do think like the king of money matches thing is a bit funny, because I feel like anyone who knows me and like has been through like the shit that I've seen, or like if you ask like Coach Steve or like Lionheart, they'll both like testify that for some weird reason everyone just wants to money match me, and it's not like oh, it's like Smug wanting to money match me, or Kami or Shine. It's like random Joe Schmoes who don't attend locals just want to play me for money, and I'm just like, okay, sure, I guess. I was just like. And the worst part is like none of these players have ever been good. I remember like Arturo Rodriguez Predator money matched me for like hundreds of dollars. Like I was able to pay college tuition one time with it. And then there's a Philly player named Ike is Legend who wanted to money match me too. And I'm just like, I don't really understand why people like choose me as the person that they think is like trash or whatever. I'm just like, all right, sure, fuck it, I guess. I'm not gonna say no. Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah, I wouldn't even be saying no either. Plus, you had the credentials to really back that up anyway, so it really made sense. Okay, so along the lines, you did your tournaments, you did your stints in terms of that. I know you had really good placings and everything. So I want to talk about like the FGC at the moment, right? So as you see now, we're in Street Fighter 6. We kind of touched on that before, right? Capcom Cup came and passed. We just had the esports tournament for Street Fighter 6. Both were $1 million, right? Now, do you feel like we have really entered the pantheons of being esports now?
I'd say yeah. I think it's a bit more because of like companies looking into it, or like players being sponsored now that weren't previously sponsored. So now you have people like Cloud9 being interested in the FGC, Furia being interested in the FGC, all these other companies, especially American companies. Like Japanese companies usually like always had interest, so you see Good 8 Squad or like Red Bull. But now you're seeing like other companies like enter the fray that weren't previously talking during like the Street Fighter 4, Street Fighter 5 era.
Right. Okay. So alongside with that, like, do you feel like, you know, in terms of the FGC, like the modern FGC, like the games, right? Say like Street Fighter 6, like you see how Capcom not only is aiming for like obviously like the veteran players, but they were aiming for the new demographics in terms of younger players, casuals to play the game. Do you feel like, you know, Capcom has done really well with 6, how it's perceived at this point?
Yeah, honestly. I think it's a lot more accessible, which is I think is the best word to use for Street Fighter 6. And by making it more accessible, it'll make more people reach out and play. Like I don't know how interested Tachikawa would have been into playing this game if there was no modern version of the game. I mean, or if there was no like modern input system of the game. So I think Tachikawa is like a really good example of like the idea of what giving like a simplified input system could do for a game. And there are definitely other games that I've seen out there that also have like a simplified input system, like Grand Blue Fantasy Versus, Street Fighter 6, and there's one other game with the Dragon Ball Fighters. So, and now even Project Bell having a simplified input system works.
I see. So you don't have much of an issue with the games becoming more simpler in terms of having more execution?
Personally, I would like to see if like there be some reward for having a complex system, like actually using technical inputs. Like as a Grand Blue player, my biggest issue with Rising is that there is no penalty for using easy input, whereas vanilla there was like a longer cooldown for using easy inputs.
Right.
I know Street Fighter 6 has like Street Fighter 6 has, I believe, lower damage. So I feel like if we're gonna do technical inputs versus easy inputs, just make it like balance in a sense, like give some type of like trade-off for using technical inputs.
Mm. Well, I know the whole classic versus modern debate has been pretty much a thing with six, and while six does have its technical inputs, it's still, I feel like, depending on like the character, there's pretty much like some ease of use inputs that are there. But you're absolutely right about modern, because modern, I mean, with Takutawa, definitely showed like the what if, like in terms of the modern controls, in terms of how far that you can take it. I mean, Haitani did it too when it was at Evo as well with Chun-Li, as well with modern Chun-Li. So I feel like with modern controls, it's definitely one of those outliners that it definitely can make it easier for, you know, anybody like a John or a Jane to kind of get into the game. But I still think, even though it's the inputs are easy, I think I think modern inputs are like harder, because considering that you're losing a couple of normals or so, I think it's like more of a handicap towards you in terms of how you're supposed to approach the matchup. Approach classic, that you know you have all your normals available for you, so it definitely does make a difference though. So aside from that, right, we touched on the orgs and everything, like how the FGC is heading towards esports. I understand that. I know you're technically a sponsored player yourself, right?
Mm-hmm.
So can you tell me? I know you were a sponsored player for like many teams. So can you tell me what's it like being a sponsored player?
I don't want to say the word is restrictive, but you have to be like mindful of what you say and what you do, and understand that you do not just represent yourself, you represent a larger picture. So because of that, I always have to I can't just shoot off the mouth when I want to, or say some things that I would love to say because people are trying to bring me out of character. Because at the end of the day, I am a representative of a group. So
basically, I got you. So it's basically like you are pretty much at work almost every day, and you represent the company that you are working for. And obviously, like, not only that, but, you know, it's a matter of perception. Just like, you know, obviously you don't want people to take you out of your, you know, to make you say things that you're not supposed to say, and, you know, that would cause a lot of issues, which I appreciate that how it's supposed to be, because being professional is basically the number one thing that you're supposed to do at all times, especially for your friends, to anybody. So I can appreciate that you have to, you are not representing yourself, but you're also representing the group. So shout outs to pretty much Dynamic Focus, which is, I know, the team that you're on at this point. So solid group of people that you're surrounded with, that's for sure. Okay, so now we talked about the modern FGC, right? So let's talk about retro. Now I know there are times that you have played some 3S, you played some ST before. Do you kind of divulge into what's going on in the retro scene nowadays, or you just don't know at the point?
So I was watching some of Third Strike at Evo, and I was liking the resurgence of retro games forward. It also makes me kind of curious as to like what retro games would be featured for Evo in the future. Personally, I'm biased, and I want to see I want to see Prime Toxicity. So I want to see ST.
I like it. I like it. I mean, ST is there. I mean, I do hope next year ST will be on the main stage. Kind of have my fingers crossed, but I do agree. Like the revival. Well, I can't even call it a revival. I mean, Third Strike has been pretty popular. I feel like Third Strike is in the position where ST once was like years ago. Like now, Third Strike has become like the favorited game, and a lot of folks are like getting into it. Whether it's you play it at you play it at your local, you play it on Fightcade, you watch the Jazzy circuit, and then now you're seeing it at tournaments that it's pretty big. So I feel like it's pretty dope, especially this this one at Evo, which I think it's the one to remember. Like, yeah, like over 1,100 entrants for Third Strike, which is pretty awesome. So I can understand like why that is the darling of the game now. Which shout outs to Third Strike with that. But yeah, I feel like obviously with the retro, it's like I would tell you like I feel like it's pretty much in a very interesting state because, like I said, aside from like a lot of hardware that's being developed that you're able to play with your, using your own stick, using your own hitbox and everything like that. It's evolved from just standard, from playing on a standard cab. Now you got like super guns, misters, and all that kind of stuff, which is pretty cool to see. So probably the next time, hopefully we'll see you in another third. We'll probably see you in the Third Strike tournament if you're interested, I would say. But yeah. So so we reached kind of towards the end, right? Now tell me, so let's talk about like future goals, right? In a few years, do you have any plans? Like, do you have any projects or any tournaments that you want to go to? Any trips you want to do?
So in pursuit of Arxis World Tour, which is hilarious because people probably know me for Street Fighter. Actually, I don't even know anymore because people be like, are you the Grab Blue player or are you the Street Fighter player? There are a couple places on the tour that I would like to try to go to. In my head, I would like to go to. I believe there's. I'm trying to remember now. Give me a sec. First Attack. Definitely see Otaku. Maybe Ultimate Fighting Arena. And yeah, those are like the three that come to mind in my head right now.
I see. So here's a question. Like, have you ever thought about like, I mean, aside from the majors like Evo, Combo Breaker, CEO, you ever thought about just like, I don't know, going to Japan?
Yeah. I do intend to try to go to Japan sometime next year.
Sick. I do want to go next year too. So we gotta make that happen. But okay, so going to Japan next year probably. Let's see. So you had some tournaments you want to attend and everything like that. So that's cool. I know you normally like stream a lot in terms of right? I know in terms of that, I was gonna say you don't really attend like online tournaments, and I kind of get why, to be honest with you. But do you have any aspirations of like sometimes hosting your own tournament?
So I used to at some point, but it's a lot of work.
Yeah, I believe it. It is a lot of work. It's definitely a lot of work. So that's a big no. Okay. All right. That's cool. All right. Well, tell me, do you have any? You got before I hit you with the shout outs. Do you have any final thoughts in terms of what do you want to say or anything?
Shout outs to Hicks. If you want to learn Grand Blue, I'm always down to help other people learn. And yeah, I'm just a chill guy. That's it.
You are definitely a chill guy. You're definitely a chill guy. I appreciate you being on this episode, man. You got any shout outs besides me?
Shout outs to Fire. Shout outs to Sweet Kisses. Shout outs to RGP. Shout outs to Nutty Ass Lane. The old 8-Bit Squad. Shout outs to Dynamic Focus, obviously. And yeah, that's about it.
All right. Awesome, man. Well, I appreciate you.
Fuck the Bronx.
Oh.
Fuck the Bronx.
Oh, well, yeah, of course. And folks, you gotta understand why with the Bronx. I mean, people will always say that the Bronx is getting better. No, it's not.
It will never get better.
It'll never get better. I'm gonna quote this, and I love this quote. What Charlemagne the God would always says: the craziest people in America is Florida, all of Florida, and the Bronx. And I love folks from the Bronx, but y'all got some real, like, I'm gonna use Teiga's word. Y'all got some real headassery stuff that happens out there. So therefore, I can't say to myself I could be out there for like no less than 1 hour. That's what I'm gonna say. So unless I'm going to Bum, shout outs to Bum, but yeah, no less than an hour. I'm good on that. So yeah, but thank you, Teiga, for being on this episode, man. I really, really do appreciate it.
Not a problem.
Before we go, I know you said people can find you if you want to learn about Grand Blue. Can you tell them? And folks, his socials will be in the description. Can you tell people where people can find you at?
Twitch is just Teiga, Teiga. Twitter is at ny_Teiga, same Teiga. YouTube, Teiga93. Yeah, so just look up Teiga. You'll find me.
Yep, you'll find them. All right, folks. Thank you very much for being a part of this episode. Greatly appreciate everybody being here. And thank you, Teiga, once again for being on here. So, everybody, take care of yourself and tune in to the next episode. Peace out.
Later, y'all.